dreams and promises, how to be brave, how can I love when I'm afraid to fall, but watching you stand alone, all of my doubt suddenly goes away somehow. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000
I went to Gord's stag, really quite the party. I went in and I looked and says, they're all old guys, kind of amazing. That's what we said there. They looked at me, yeah. Anyhow, with Gord, I realized that I was one of the few people at this party that had something other than work involved. They were all work-related people. But Gord really has three things in his life now. Work was always important there, but I met Gord, and where I came into Gord's life was riding bicycles. So Gord is a bike rider, a long-distance road rider, and I started riding with him, and I think he was very kind to me. He kind of let me ride along beside him, but, I'd be riding along with him, and the one thing I knew about Gord was that he was faithful. He was always there. So I'd show up on a Sunday or a Wednesday, and Gord was always there, and so we rode together. So he had those two things in his life. He had his work, and then he had bike riding. And at that point, he didn't have a third thing in his life. And then all of a sudden, Gord stopped the second thing. He stopped showing up for rides. And, we'd call him up, specifically a guy named Ed, would call him up and say, Gord, we're having a ride on Sunday, and Gord would say, I'm sorry, I can't come. And Gord's faithful, and we just thought, well, what's wrong with Gord? Why isn't he there? But we let him slide the first time, and the second time he called up and says, Gord, we're going to go for another ride, and he says, oh, I can't come. That's two in a row, Gord. This is a little strange, but you always want to give grace, so you gave him grace. And third time we called up, and he says, Gord, we're going for another ride. And he says, oh, I can't come. And so we asked him. We said, okay, Gord, what's up? And Gord says, and I quote, I have a problem. So enters into Gord's life the third thing in his life. He says, I've got a girlfriend. And of course we said, Gord, come on, we told you before you started riding in this thing that riding has to be top priority. Well, I wanted to come up and give a toast to Gord's problem. And the good news about Gord's problem is she has now since started riding with us. So Gord no longer has a problem in my book, and I don't think it's a problem in his book either. So I want to give a toast to Gord's problem and to his solution to the problem.
On behalf of Lynn, Corinne, Ginny, Bernard, and Dave, I'd like to express that it has been an honor to stand by you as you celebrate your wedding. May your new life together as husband and wife be forever fitted with love and happiness always, good food, good wine, and great adventures. I'd like you all to join me at the bridal party and myself in a toast to beautiful bride and groom. Bride and groom. Bride and groom. when Gord and I first met, we began our friendship carpooling to work. And we became good friends, but became even closer, a lot closer friends. When I had to take his clothes off and put to bed. You see, Gord, no, there's a story to it. See, Gord was trying to keep up with some ski buddies up in Mount Washington. And he apparently fell and broke his shoulder. He tells me that he was just skiing down the hill, but I like my story. So he calls us and he says, come get us. So my wife Colette and my two kids, Lucas and Natalie, we raced up to Mount Washington to kind of save him from the first aid high. I drove his car and basically he drove with Colette and the two kids in my car. And my wife tells me that coming down from Mount Washington, I mean, that's not a short drive. For those of you who know how far Mount Washington is from Campbell River, it's a good 40 minutes drive. Gord, all the way down, he was calm and smiling. And, you know, my two kids in the back screaming and, you know, being difficult, and here is a guy who's just smiling. And this is the Gord that I know, always, oh well, what can you do, positive type of guy. Our friendship, of course, soon extended to my wife and my kids. Gord has always been very, very generous to my kids, considerate, and very interested in whatever they were interested in. Betty knows my daughter, Natalie, and she's a bit of a chatterbox, and here's Gord. Sit next to her, and she just talks and talks and talks, and he listens and listens and listens, very patiently. And of course, the stories that he has about his skateboarding days and telling Lucas and showing him some tricks and making him, he made Lucas really happy about those things. So thank you for that, Gord. Now the other thing is, I did, however, question our friendship at one point because it seemed like every time Colette and I were discussing something or arguing, he would always take her side. And I'm thinking, what the heck is this? You're supposed to be my buddy. You're supposed to be supporting me and you know, taking care of me, not my wife. But you know, those of you who know Gord again, you know he's a smart man. He knew who he should be supporting. So I know that now. Gord, you've been a good friend to me, my wife and my kids. I wish you all the best in your new life, Cheryl. I'm happy that you found such a beautiful and caring person to grow up with. Now, Cheryl can take your clothes off and put you together. Not now. Please join me in a toast to a good friend.
Have known each other since we were 10 years old. And those of you who were at the dinner, you're going to know this story already, but when Cheryl first came to school, she would come to school in flat pants and a flowery shirt. And 10-year-old me, I would take her aside and say, Cheryl, you can't mix patterns. You wear one pattern and then wear solid colors. So the next day, she comes back to school in flowery pants and a plain t-shirt but with a kitten on the front. And she says, is this okay? Is this okay? And 10-year-old me says, well, it'll do, but you're getting it, you're getting it. So that's how we met. And we have been friends ever since. So that's a long time. And of course, we've had our ups and downs over the years, but there's something about small town and your oldest childhood friends And we just always have to stay connected because we need that. Maybe there have been times where we didn't think we did, but we do. We always come back to each other. So, it's been a long, long time, and we've been through lots together. As for Gordon, well, when Cheryl first took me to meet him on Visitor's Day at the penitentiary, I didn't really know I'd never been in an actual jail before. Like, I was just kind of scared. Yes, of course, I'm kidding. Here's what I know about Gordon. Gordon likes to ride his bike. Gordon likes to ski. Gordon likes to watch hockey. He likes Canucks hockey. And Gordon is a bit of a techie. So, actually, could you take a look at my BlackBerry? It's doing this thing, you know, with the emails, and it's sending my emails somewhere. Never mind, I'll talk about that later. So, the most important thing I know about Gord is that he makes Cheryl happy. And if Cheryl's happy, that makes me happy. So, my wish for both of you is many, many happy years together. And, of course, I must congratulate you on the best decision you made so far together, choosing me to be your MC.
Heart beats fast, colors and promises. How to be brave? How can I love when I'm afraid to fall? But watching you stand alone, all of my doubt suddenly goes away somehow. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. Time stands still. Beauty in all she is. I will be brave. I will not let anything take away what's standing in front of me. Every breath, every hour has come to this. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. And all along I believed I would find you. Time has brought your heart to me. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. One step closer. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000